hockey fans, the Minnesota Hockey Connection show is on the air. We're at PACT-TV Studios, downtown Duluth, in City Hall. It's January, it's 29th. Yeah, January 29th already. The month of January is gone. So, wow. But a lot of hockey going on now, and the pros, though, are taking a little break, All-Star week. So there might be some games tonight, but I know the Wild are done until the February 7th. I think they go to Chicago, and then they come home Friday night, the 9th of February, and play Pittsburgh. And on that night, I think they're going to honor the Flower, Marc-Andre Fleury, for the most victories, and second most victories of all time in the National Hockey League for a goalie. And so it's going to be a big night for him. And I got to think of which game I should go to. Should I go to that one, or should I go see Rosal comes to town? We don't get to see Rosal too much, being up in that northwest corner there. And they got a player that I really like, and Noah Ernest. So he very possible he can be a Mr. Hockey candidate. So on the same day. So February 9th, the Wild in Pittsburgh, and Marc-Andre Fleury's celebration of his victories and second place of all time. Or should I go to Rosal? I got to think that out. So, okay, as long as we're on the pro game, the Minnesota Wild, they didn't have a very good week. They started out the week okay, and they beat Washington Capitals, but then they lost to Nashville and Anaheim, and that's not good in the rankings. Right now, they're seven games behind in rankings. And right now, 7 games behind to get to the playoffs, really, for a wild card. So right now, the Wild are, they got 47 points. So on 49 games. So there's only 32 more games for the Wild this year. But the teams that are in the playoff picture as of today, we'll start with the Eastern. We got Metropolitan side. We got the Boston Bruins, 71 points. Florida Panthers, 66 points. Tampa Bay Lightning, 59 points. Then Atlantic side, the 3 teams that are in the playoffs right now that stopped today. New York Rangers, 63. Carolina Hurricanes, 61. And the Philadelphia Flyers, 56. And then wild cards would be Toronto with 58 points, and the Detroit Red Wings, 57. Boy, Detroit hasn't been big in the playoff picture for a long time, so that'd be good to see them get back in there. Okay, then over on the western side of the National Hockey League, we got the Central Division, Colorado Avalanche leading at 67 points. Dallas Stars, 66 points. Winnipeg Jets, 65. And then over in Pacific, we got the Vancouver Canucks, 71. Boy, that's a surprise, because they were down toward the bottom last year. Now they're on the top on the Pacific. And Brock Besser, the Burns boy kid, and he played up at North Dakota in college. He's having a great year. He has a good chance of getting 40 goals this year. And it must be contract year coming up pretty soon or whatever, because that's one of his best years of all his career in the National Hockey League. So the Vegas Golden Knights are 64 points and Edmonton 59. And then the 2 teams right now fighting for the playoff, they got St. Louis Blues 54 and LA Kings 54 points. And that's for the wild card, the 2 teams. So there you go, the playoff hopefuls. Saw a lot of hockey this week. UMD, they got 5 out of the 6 points. They should have had 6. They allowed to go with under 2 minutes in Saturday night's game, but then they came back and won it in overtime, so 5 points. So I guess it's a good weekend, but it's one of the weaker teams in the National Collegiate Hockey Conference. So they're a little bit behind right now. Let's see, where are they in hockey? Okay, North Dakota is on top in the conference at 32 points. St. Cloud State, 28 points. Denver, 23. Colorado College, 23. Western Michigan, 22. And Minnesota Duluth, 20. Omaha, 15. And Miami, 5. So they're 3 points out. So they got a good chance, but they got some good. They got to go to Colorado College. They're going to Omaha this coming weekend. I think they got to go up to North Dakota too. So they got some big series still to go to. So hopefully they can get it together, and because the top 4 teams in this conference, they stay at home for the playoffs. So it's the best out of 3 playoff series, and then the teams that win the playoffs at their rinks, the home rinks, they get to go down to St. Paul to the XL, and top 4 teams that win that playoff series on each side. So let's go UMD. Let's see, Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota split with the top team in the Big Ten, Michigan State. And they're going to be at Wisconsin this weekend, big series, because Wisconsin's ranked in the pairwise number 4. And Minnesota is number 9. And then other Minnesota teams, St. Cloud State is 13. Let's see, is there any other Minnesota teams that are... But this weekend, St. Cloud State is, I think, at Denver. I could be wrong there. But I know St. Thomas and Mankato State, Minnesota State Mankato, are playing each other. And UMD goes to Omaha. And Minnesota is over at Wisconsin for the Minnesota teams. And Bemidji State is off this weekend. So there you go for the 61 teams in the state. In the ladies, the UMD Bulldog ladies, they gave one up on Saturday afternoon. They were ahead 4-1 going into the third period, and they lost 5-4. So they didn't get any points this weekend. And so, but they're still they're number 9 now on the pairwise for the ladies. And let's see, any Minnesota teams? Minnesota's number 5, and St. Cloud State is number 10. So 3 teams in the top 10 for the ladies and ladies hockey in the pairwise. Okay, they just had Hockey Day Minnesota, and boy, I was just looking over the list. I've been to so many. This is one of the few I did not get to, and probably the reason I was thinking all the time is that War Road, great hockey community, great place to have it. The only problem was that to get rooms, there's not many hotels in the area, and I'd probably have to stay out 100 miles or more if I wanted a room, if I decided to go. And I decided not to go, so I watched high school hockey. I saw Hermantown on Friday night and Saturday. Hermantown lost to St. Thomas Academy 3-0 on the empty net on Friday night. And Mike Randolph, the former Duluth East coach, coaches St. Thomas Academy, so they played a good game. And then Saturday, Hermantown played Maple Grove. And Maple Grove was 5th at the time in the state in Class AA. So, but they lost. Oh man, that was an amazing game because less than a second left, .03 seconds. Maple Grove scored to tie the game, and then they won in overtime. And I'm thinking about modern technology. If we go back 20 years when the clock would only go in seconds, they wouldn't go in tenth of seconds the last minute. They go in seconds, and the game would have been over. So the goal would not count. But because it's tenth of a seconds, Maple Grove tied the game and then win it in overtime. So it was a hard loss for Hermantown. But hey, they played real good in both losses. And the back end is looking real good. Just like a lot of teams, they need a little more offense. But playing tough schedule will make them it'll be very tough to beat this team. I think Hermantown will be going down to state tournament in Class A and Section 7 again. But Hockey Day Minnesota, I was up in Road, and I was just thinking the ones I went to. I'm looking Badette the first 2 years, 2007, 2008. That 2008 was a cold day. We had to go inside a lot because it was so cold. Then it was down in St. Paul and Phelan Park, and that was a nice one. 2010 Hermantown, it was too warm. It was raining and misty. Moorhead 2011 was too warm. I was there. 2012 Minnetonka, I had to bring it inside because it was too warm and they wouldn't get the ice right. And it started getting cold about 2-3 days before, but they wanted a couple weeks really to have that ice ready. 2013, it was up in Grand Rapids, and too cold. It was 50 below wind chills. Grand Rapids, we're playing Benil. 2014 was nice. Snowed a little bit in the morning, a couple inches, but it was a beautiful scene with the snow, and then turned out to be a beautiful day there. 2015 was in St. Paul down at the airport, down there in St. Paul, right by the hangars. 2016 was Duluth. That got too warm. The ice was melting at the end of the boys' game, so they had to cancel the girls' games later on that day. Stillwater was good. St. Cloud, I didn't go to St. Cloud. 2019, Bemidji was too cold. 2020, Minneapolis was nice. Roseville was nice in 2021. 2022, I did not go at Mankato. 2023, White Bear Lake, probably marketed the best. There was probably over 10,000 people at that one. They had a lot of tents and people having a little fun with, drinking a few beers and everything, and TVs in the tents and that. Then 2014, I didn't go. And I'm just thinking this year, Hockey Day Minnesota up in War Road, it's been a big year for War Road. A lot of stuff have been happening. The Henry Boucher, he passed away. That was sad news. I mean, everyone knows Henry and what a great guy he was. And then, they got two of the best USA players on the National Hockey League, T.J. Oshie and Brock Nelson. T.J. Oshie plays for the Washington Capitals. And kind of funny, he's just scored a hat trick about 10 days ago. And then Brock Nelson, what a great career he's had over at New York Islanders. Then at the end of the high school season last year, the Frank Brinzik went to Hampton Slikinski, and Mr. Hockey is Jason Shoneby, who will be going to the University of Minnesota Duluth. He's playing down in Green Bay, I know. So a lot of news with War Road, and I guess you can call it Hockey Town, USA, up there in War Road. It's a great tradition, and it must have been a fun time I just wish that you can get rooms up there in a small town, but wasn't to be. So, congratulations on War Road, and the weather was great for the all week of all the events they had there. Okay, I'm gonna go to in college hockey in the pairwise. This last weekend, Boston U and Boston College played each other. So they were 1-2 last week, and now they switched to 1-3. And North Dakota had a big weekend with Denver, and they beat them 2 games, and so they're in second place right now. So North Dakota's playing really good hockey, and Wisconsin's holding their own. They're number 4, Maine number 5, Denver number 6, Michigan State number 7, Quinnipiac, last year's Frozen Four winner, who beat Minnesota in overtime, and then Minnesota number 9. So 8 and 9, the championship game teams are right up there. And some other NCHC teams is Western Michigan number 14, St. Cloud State 13, Colorado College 18, Omaha 18, tied for 18. So, and Minnesota Duluth is in the low 20s there, so they're moving up. So they keep playing good. They got a chance to get in the top 16. The top 16 get to the playoffs. The regions. Boy, hockey's coming to an end. High school playoffs are less than a month. So, can't wait. That's the best time of the year for me. We're watching the section playoffs and then the state tournament. And then the Frozen Four in college is at St. Paul this year. So everything's downtown St. Paul. A lot of hockey action will be down there. The Frozen Face-Off, they still have another year there. Then it changes. They're gonna be going someplace else for that. Let's see, what else is going on? High school hockey. Okay, we talked about Hermantown games, but let's go over some rankings. Minnetonka in Class AA is still number 1. They haven't lost a game. They got 2 ties against the number 2 and number 3 team. Edina and Wayzata, they tied those 2 games. And I was at both of those games. So, I mean, Tonka is the number 1 team. But, hey, Edina, Wayzata, Chanhassen, any one of those teams can upset Minnetonka this year. And they're trying to repeat as state championships. But, yeah, the only sad thing about this is that Edina and Wayzata are in the same section, so only one of those teams can get there, and Chanhassen and Tonka are in the same sections, and only one team can get there when you're in the same section, and when you're in the top 4. I wish it was a little different. I think they should go back to the back door where some of the real good teams can still get in if they don't win their section. So the old days, they used to have the runner-ups play each other in a couple sections and to get to the state tournament. But number 5, we got Benil, 13-4-1. Wayzata was 16-1-2. They just beat Rosal up in War Road. And then Edina, 16-2-1. They're number 2. Maple Grove, who just beat Hermantown 13-5, number 6. Shakopee, and they're number 7, 14-3-1. Andover, Section 7, where Duluth East, Duluth Denfield, Rock Ridge, and Grand Rapids will have to. One of those teams have to beat them to get to state, because Andover will be the number 1 seed in Section 7 AA. Number 9, Rosemont, 14-5. And St. Thomas Academy, 12-6-2. They're both in Section 3. And then teams to watch. Centennial is playing real good hockey right now. Cretin Durham Hall, Eden Prairie, Hill Murray, Holy Angels, Holy Family, Rogers, let's see, Rosal, Rosal, and Stillwater, and then White Bear Lake. Then over in Class A, we got War Road 16, 3, and 0. I've had War Road up there at #1 all season. A lot of people had Hermantown there for a while. Hermantown's a very good team on the back end this year, but they're a little down on their offensive part. One of their best offensive players stayed in juniors, and so that hurt them a little bit. But hey, don't count Hermantown out. They have a good chance of going all the way. St. Cloud Cathedral, 15, 4, and 1 is #3. East Grand Forks, 13, 6, and 1, #4. Those both Class AA and Class A, the top 4 teams are playing really good hockey, and hopefully we see most of them get to the state. Just like Class AA, War Road and East Grand Forks are in the same section, so one of those teams will not make it. #5, Monticello, 16 and 2. #6, Northfield, 13, 2 and 2. #7, Orono, 13 and 6. Montemita, 8 and 10. Even though they're under 500 on their record, the reason I have them there, and a lot of people have them in the top 10, is because of their schedule. Their schedule is very strong. They play a lot of AA teams and Class AA. And so it's just going to make them a tough team to beat in sections. And #9, Delano. They're in the same section as Orono. And then another team in Section 8, Thief River Falls, is 12, 7, and 1. So in the top 10, there's 3 teams in Section 8, 2 and 2. And let's see, I don't see any. Oh yeah, I think St. Cloud Cathedral and Monticello are in the same section. So there you have the rankings. And then teams to watch: Alexandria, Hibbing / Chisholm, Little Falls, Laverne, Northern Lakes, Proctor, Southwest. And probably in the next couple of weeks, I'll be voting on Mr. Hockey and the Frank Brinzik Award. And some of the goalies I like is the Hendrickson kid. That's Darby's kid, plays for Chanhassen. I like the Proctor kid. I like the Denfield kid. So we got some northern kids too that are playing very good goaltending. Kellaway from Hermantown is another one. So the north at least has some good goalies. For Mr. Hockey though, the only 2 kids up north that I really would consider in the top 10 would be Noah Ernest, Rosal, and Pilgrim for War Road. And other kids I like, we'll see, down in the cities, I like, Tonka has a ton of seniors. You have to be a senior for Mr. Hockey. And what I like about that team, and they have Javon Moore. He's going to Minnesota. I like Hagen Burrows. And they're both big boys. One's 6'4", 6'5", and one's 6'2". I like the UMD commit, John Stalt, the defenseman for Minnetonka. and there's more on that team. Lunsky, he was hurt for a while, so he probably would not make it. But those three will almost for sure make the list of the top 10. And let's see, Chanhassen has Lee, and he has Eulenkamp for Chanhassen, and then Chris. That's another one. There's three good ones there. Then we got Nolan Road for White Bear Lake. Let's see, who else do I have on my list? I got to cut down to 7. They let all the people that vote put 7 skaters in, and then the ones with top 10 point getters get to go to the luncheon the day after the state tournament ends. So those are some of the players that I really like, and I think will be on the list of the top 10. And let's see, what else we got going? All the Timberwolves were playing really good hockey. I mean, the Wilderness. But they had a little tough weekend. But they're in there for the playoffs right now for sure. So we got that. And St. Cloud Nordiques, they are having a pretty good year too, and hopefully they can make the playoffs. And so we got a lot of Minnesota teams in all levels, high school, juniors, college, and the pros, all fighting for playoffs now because we're in the second half of the season for all these leagues and levels of hockey. So, hey, so it's time to get out some games now because it's gonna get it's gonna get pretty big in a little while because the sections start in high school, and when the sections start, you know hockey's just going crazy. Then the college starts their playoffs, and then juniors, and then the pros Stanley Cup starts in last part of April. So it's kind of funny how fast this season is going, but hey, I love the game. So, hey, I want to thank the PACT-TV producers, Jim and Liz. And, hey, get out to some hockey games. There's high school games, there's college games, and juniors in the state. So the Wild will be off until the 9th of February because of the All-Star break. So get out to the rink. We'll see you at the rink.